Hello, and welcome to CRM Decoded, where we explain, demystify, and decode all things Dynamics 365 CRM. Today we'll be covering a demonstration of Dynamics 365, your full company by role. I'm Miriam Florio, CRM Practice Manager here at Technology Management Concepts. Today we'll be covering the Salesperson role, Customer Service Representative, Marketing, and Upper Management. So let's dive right in. So as a salesperson, Dynamics 365 CRM allows me to maintain my sales pipeline and track my sales opportunities within the system, as well as my other daily functions like my tasks and appointments and my leads. So I'm looking at my dashboard inside of the Sales Hub, and as a salesperson, I can view my open activities that I've yet to complete, see my open opportunities that I'm working on that are currently in my pipeline, the open leads that I'm working on that have been assigned to me by the marketing team, a list of my active accounts, take a look at my open opportunities in the pipeline. And as you can see here, I have 25,000 in the qualify stage, 55,000 in the develop stage, and 36,000 in the propose. And if I wanted to see a list of these records, a more detailed view, I could simply click on the ellipses and view the records. So as you can see here, I have a visual on the left and then the details on the right. I can click into one of these areas like develop, for example, and you can see it narrows the list down or filters it. So I can then work on those sales opportunities simply by clicking on the hyperlink and having it take me directly to that record. The sales opportunity that I'm working on for a product for our customer, Sydney, at Blue Yonder Associates, you can see that it's in the develop stage. It's been active for 2 hours in this stage, and I can see the details about what I'm gathering on that particular stage, as well as previous stages. When I'm ready to move forward, I can simply complete the items that are in this develop stage and move on to the next stage. I can also perform tasks within the sales opportunity, like make a reminder for myself to send them a quote. And I'll give that quote a due date. And it's already linked back to the sales opportunity, which is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and save and close that. And as you can see, it added it to my timeline for the sales opportunity, as well as adding it to my dashboard activities or my regular activities view. So it's created this item for me to complete later on, and I can come back to this opportunity. As a salesperson, I can also work on my leads. So leads that marketing obtains via our website or that may call in to customer service are put into my list or assigned to me, and I can see them when I look at my leads in the system, whether that's on my dashboard where we saw the leads that were assigned to me, or I go directly into the leads entity. And as you can see here, there are a number of leads that are already in the system, and so I can work on those leads, hoping to progress those to sales opportunities, because a lead is really the beginning stage of a sales opportunity. So if I click on Anna Lidman, I can actually see the details of that lead. And again, I can perform actions within the timeline like send an email, create a task, an appointment, etc. The lead also has a business process flow associated with it, similar to the sales opportunity. I would work through this business process flow, which is configurable and customizable for your organization, in order to move that lead into the stages necessary in order to qualify and then work through the sales opportunity and hopefully make them a customer. I can also work on quotes, orders, or invoices as a salesperson. So as a salesperson, I work on sales opportunities. I may want to make formal quotes associated with those opportunities. Now, if you have ERP integration, you can always have those quotes then be promoted to your ERP solution, or wait till they're ready to become orders and then promote them to your ERP and convert them at that point. So I can always create those, and I can also create sales opportunities that don't have quotes associated with them or formal quotes, but it's really just a nice option within CRM. So I can create this quote. I can associate it with an existing opportunity and customer. I can select from price lists within the system, give it an expiration date. Quotes can go into the draft phase. You can always have an approval process where drafts can only be converted as by management, or you can always have salespeople do that themselves. That's always an option. So as we go through and we complete the items to the quote and you fill in the bill to and ship to, etc., you can then add line items. Now, CRM actually has a product library itself. Now again, if you have ERP integration, those products can come in from your ERP. You can also add write-in items inside of CRM that don't exist anywhere, neither in CRM nor your ERP, but they're just on-the-fly items that you want to add in to a formal or an informal quote. So in addition to quotes and similar to quotes, I can create orders and invoices inside of CRM. The products can also exist in CRM via an upload, an integration, or on-the-fly products can be created when creating quotes. You can also have sales literature that you want to associate with those quotes. So I can always add in a piece of literature that we have in our system or create a brand new piece and save it against CRM. In addition to quotes, orders, invoices, products, and sales literature, I can also have goals. Those goals are generally set up by management, but you can also create your own goals and add them into the system. And it's as simple as creating the goal. We'll call this quarterly revenue. I can have a parent goal record, but generally you can just have a regular record here. I'll create this goal for myself, and we'll add a goal metric, which is going to be revenue. Now you can have different types of goals. Those can be based on dollars and cents. They can be based on another metric, let's say the number of phone calls that are created. Perhaps you have goals for salespeople calling a number of people. Then those would be metrics that you can add in and choose that metric when creating the goal. You can set them for a certain time period. You can see the fiscal period here is set for April through the end of June, Q2, and then you can put in the actual targets. So that goal has now been created. I can see that goal on my dashboard, and it will track the revenue against this target. As a customer service rep, I can use Dynamics 365 in order to track, maintain, and resolve my cases, which are trouble tickets or issues that are created by our team or by our customers through the Dynamics 365 portal. So I'm on my dashboard here, and one of the canned dashboards that comes with CRM is the Tier 1 dashboard. And as you can see here, as a customer service rep, I can see the active cases in our system. There are 31. So if you're sharing responsibility with a pool of cases with amongst other customer service reps, you're going to see those cases here. And you can work on those by sorting the order of modified on or the priority, for example, and working through those items. By clicking on a record, it takes me into the case itself. I can see more information about that case. The case has an auto-generated case number by the system. As you can see here, it's CAS 01010, Joy 5Q0. And I can see who the contact was that created the case, what company they're with, their email address, phone number, etc. I can also see any interactions with that individual inside the timeline. That would include emails, phone calls, any kind of interaction, notes that are added in, documents, etc. You'll see on the timeline. Now it's important customer service reps generally share responsibility. You can see all activities regardless of the user as long as security is set up as such inside that timeline. So I can see that another individual might have sent them some literature. Perhaps I need to gather more information. I want to read an email that already existed. All of that will be visible right inside the timeline. I can also create new items right in the timeline by clicking the plus button. Perhaps that's an email to the customer. By initiating an email from Dynamics 365, that email will automatically be tracked back to Dynamics 365 for any replies to that email. The email contains a tracking token, which regardless of the subject line will bring that email back into CRM. So it's a really handy feature. And if you also have automated emails going out on cases, any email starting from CRM will be tracked. So I can just add in the information here. I could also use a template. So let's say we had a predefined template inside of Dynamics that said certain things like dear first name, etc. We'd like to request more information on your issue below. You can always insert an existing template and then have that template resolve with that person's information. So I can choose the template and then have that go in. Cases also have a business process flow like opportunities and leads inside of Dynamics. There is a canned business process flow, which you can see has 4 stages, or 3. The entry stage, the identify, research, and resolve. So right now we're in the identify stage. Just find the customer and the contact that it's associated with and move on to the next stage. You can see the research stage and resolve. Now these can be as simple or detailed as you want. They can also differ from different case types. So you might have one case type that is shipping issues, another case type that might be require research and development or involve other team members. You can have different business process flows at the top of the screen in order to guide the user through a set of steps and stages in order to resolve the problem. There's also specific information associated with those cases or issues that you can see on the left-hand side, along with additional information on the case details tab. And any assets that you have for this case, like files, etc., can also be added in on the timeline or right on the documents. For customer service, you can also utilize the idea of creating queues. So those are going to be specialized lists of cases that are assigned to certain members of your organization. You can or you may not choose to use queues. You can always keep the cases inside of one single active pool or use views to identify which cases are for certain subjects. But you can have formalized queues, and that could be different departments or different types of issues, and then add members to those queues and view the cases like that. There are also knowledge-based articles that you can create in order to quickly resolve cases in the future, and also a knowledge search. So if you find that there's literature associated with certain types of issues, let's say it's requests for information, it could be problems that they're having, white papers, etc., you can always add those assets to CRM as knowledge articles, and then also create a knowledge search in order to make your sales customer service reps more efficient and effective. All of the information that's inside of Dynamics 365 can really be used for marketing purposes, whether that's from sales activities, customer service activities, even accounting or ERP integration. Your marketing team can take the data and information that's inside of CRM, slice and dice it, and create marketing lists and marketing campaigns. So if we go ahead and take a look at marketing lists, we can discuss what options we have. So you can create several different kinds of lists in CRM, and those are lists containing contacts that are actual contacts in our system, accounts, so those are those companies. They can be customers, they can be prospects, they can be vendors, they can be referrers, they can be any type of organization that we're dealing with. And then they can also be leads. So leads are those unqualified contacts and accounts that you may bring in from your website, trade shows, etc. There might be dirty data. You can also target those folks in different marketing lists. There are 2 types of marketing lists, dynamic and static. A dynamic list grows and retracts based on the criteria that you put into the list. So let's go ahead and take a look at this San Francisco contacts dynamic list here. As we can see here, the filter that creates this list is the city equals San Francisco. So we can go ahead and cancel out of that. But what that means with a dynamic list is that any contact, because this is a targeted at contact list, that's added to CRM or removed from CRM that matches that filter criteria would automatically fall into the members of this contacts list for marketing for San Francisco contacts. So that's a dynamic list. Let's go back to the marketing list and talk about a static list. A static list is a list that does not automatically retract or grow, but can be created at a point in time. Let's say that is your 2021 holiday mailer. You may not want that list to automatically grow because you want to look back on it the next year and see how much bigger your list is the current year, or it's for specific lists that you want to cherry pick and create. For example, I have the static list called All My Favorite Accounts. Now, this really isn't limited to marketing. Salespeople can always create a quote-unquote marketing list, which would be a list of, let's say, their favorite accounts that they may want to blast an email to. So it really can be used for several purposes. But these accounts can then be added to static lists directly from those records. So I can see here, target ad account, all my favorite accounts, and that might be a different kind of list. You can always have top customers or whatever you want that to be. With static lists, I can be on a record, so I'll go back to accounts and click on Citibank Chicago, and I can add them to that favorite accounts list. So there's an add to marketing list option at the top of the screen, and I can choose all my favorite accounts and click add. So it allows me to add records on the fly to that list, whereas dynamic lists are those automated or auto-created lists. Those marketing lists can be used as many times as you want in different types of marketing efforts. So you can create a marketing campaign that might have multiple steps to it. The first step may be a phone call, the second step may be an email, the third step may be another email, etc. And so out of the box, marketing allows us to create marketing email templates and then also create that calendar of events and associated information with that campaign. So we'll go ahead and look at this co-branding with large retailer sample campaign. And you can see here each campaign has a campaign code. We can associate a single or multiple marketing lists with it. We can see the campaign activities, start date, end date, expected response percent, offers, and information with that event, and then the estimated revenue. We can also track how much we spent on it, and then also how much we've actually earned from it in the end. So what did we learn today? We learned that CRM is a central repository for all roles across our organization. We covered sales, customer service, and marketing. And we learned that CRM produces visibility for management and owners. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like a more detailed demonstration tailored to your organization, let us know. We'd be happy to do it. Hope to see you next time.